Welcome to Daily Overdose.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. If I gave you a single penny today and told you it would double every day for a month, how much do you think you'd have at the end of those 30 days? Most of us would shrug and think, not much. But here's the truth. By day 30, that one penny would grow into over $5 million. That's the power of small, consistent improvement. The idea of small, consistent efforts may seem insignificant at first glance, but it holds incredible power. Imagine trying to move a massive boulder. If you push it with all your strength in one go, you might barely nudge it. But if you apply consistent, steady pressure every day, that boulder begins to roll. This principle applies to every area of life, whether it's learning a new skill, improving your health, or building stronger relationships. The power isn't in the grand gestures or dramatic efforts. It's in the daily incremental progress that compounds over time. When you strive to improve yourself by just 1% each day, the changes may be imperceptible at first. You might not see immediate results, and that can be frustrating. But think about how habits form. It's not the first time you go to the gym or the second time you practice a new language that makes the difference. It's the 50th, the 100th, or even the 1000th time. By focusing on small, manageable actions, you make progress sustainable and less overwhelming. Consistency also builds momentum. The energy you create with small victories fuels your motivation to keep going. Each small improvement becomes a stepping stone to the next, gradually building a path toward your goals. And here's the beauty. Even if you falter for a day or two, the foundation you've built keeps you from falling too far behind. Small, consistent actions create a safety net that catches you during life's inevitable ups and downs. This approach requires patience and discipline, but the payoff is extraordinary. Over time, the person you become through these daily 1% improvements will be unrecognizable compared to the person who started. Small, consistent efforts may feel insignificant in the moment, but they are the quiet force behind life's most profound transformation. Relatable analogies are a powerful way to understand the value of consistent improvement. Imagine you're filling a jar with water, drop by drop. At first, it seems like nothing is happening. You might even think it's a waste of time, but as you keep going, the jar starts to fill. Each drop, as insignificant as it may seem, contributes to the bigger picture. That's what self-improvement is. Small, steady actions adding up over time to create something meaningful. Life isn't about making one giant leap. It's about taking thousands of tiny, intentional steps in the right direction. Consider a sculptor working on a block of marble. With each small strike of the chisel, the shape begins to emerge. At first, the changes are barely noticeable, just chips falling to the ground. But as the sculptor keeps chipping away, the masterpiece hidden within the marble starts to take form. That's exactly how improvement works. Each small effort you make is a strike of the chisel, slowly revealing the best version of yourself. It's not always glamorous or obvious, but it's progress nonetheless. Another analogy is planting a tree. When you first plant the seed, it looks like nothing is happening. You water it, tend to it, and protect it from harm, even though it remains hidden beneath the surface. Then one day, a sprout emerges, and over time it grows into a strong, towering tree. The time and care you invest in yourself are like watering that seed. You may not see the results right away, but growth is happening under the surface. Relatable analogies like these remind us that progress is often invisible in the beginning. It's about trusting the process, staying consistent, and believing that each small effort contributes to something much greater in the end. A motivational tone and energy have the power to ignite a spark within people, pushing them to take action. When it comes to self-improvement, the right words spoken with passion can be a game changer. Imagine a coach on the sidelines shouting encouragement to their team. The words might not change the score immediately, but they change the mindset. That's the essence of motivation. It instills belief, even in the face of challenges. A motivational tone isn't just about being loud or energetic. It's about speaking to the heart and reminding people of their untapped potential. Every single person in this room has greatness within them, but sometimes that greatness lies dormant. The right energy can awaken it. Think about moments when you felt unstoppable, when someone's words made you feel like you could climb mountains. That energy, that fire, is what you need to carry with you daily as you strive to improve yourself, even by 1%. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. A motivational tone reminds us that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey toward it. You are capable of more than you realize. Even when life feels overwhelming or progress seems slow, you have to trust that every step forward matters. Motivation is not just about grand speeches. It's about internalizing the belief that your efforts are worth it. You are worth it. Speaking with energy, whether to yourself or others, is a declaration that no challenge is too big and no step is too small. The right energy creates momentum, and momentum drives change. When you approach each day with a motivational mindset, you light a path, not just for yourself, but for others who are watching and learning from your example. That energy has the power to transform lives, starting with your own. Personal responsibility is the cornerstone of self-improvement. It's the moment you look in the mirror and realize that no one else is coming to do the work for you. Your success, growth, and progress are entirely in your hands. This realization isn't a burden, it's a gift, a reminder of the power you hold over your own life. Taking responsibility means understanding that while you can't control every circumstance, you can control how you respond, how you learn, and how you move forward. There's a certain freedom that comes with owning your journey. When you stop blaming external factors, whether it's other people, your past, or even bad luck, you take back control. No more waiting for the perfect time or relying on others to motivate you. Personal responsibility shifts the narrative. It transforms "I can't" into "how can I?" and "why me" into "what can I learn?" It's not always easy, but it's always empowering. Now your mind is in control. Social security is not going to just impart for you to succeed. It's always empowered in your life. If you don't wake this up, where the hell are you going? That's the big question. Imagine building a house brick by brick. No one else is going to lay those bricks for you. Sure, people might offer advice or lend a hand occasionally, but the responsibility for building the foundation, the walls, and the roof is yours. That house represents your goals, your growth, and your future. Every brick you lay is an intentional step forward, and every delay or excuse is a missed opportunity to strengthen what you're building. Personal responsibility doesn't mean going it alone. It's about acknowledging that while you may seek guidance or support, the effort and commitment must come from within. It's about showing up every day, even when it's hard, and making choices that align with the person you want to become. By taking full responsibility, you unlock the power to create lasting, meaningful change in your life. Life is rarely smooth, and the challenges we face often feel insurmountable. That's why it's crucial to remember that improvement isn't about achieving perfection, it's about making progress. Too often people get discouraged by the idea that they must transform everything all at once, but progress is about small, consistent steps that bring us closer to our goals. The focus shifts from the overwhelming finish line to the next simple action you can take. It's this mindset that makes challenges manageable and success attainable. When we emphasize progress, we recognize that setbacks are not failures, but opportunities to learn. Every stumble or pause along the journey becomes a lesson in resilience and adaptability. Progress isn't linear, and it doesn't have to be. Some days you'll take 2 steps forward, other days you might take 1 step back. What matters is that you keep moving, keep learning, and keep striving. Progress also fuels motivation. When you acknowledge the small victories, like sticking to a routine for 1 more day or learning 1 new thing, you build momentum. This momentum has a ripple effect, encouraging you to tackle the next challenge with more confidence and determination. Over time, these incremental gains compound, leading to success. By focusing on progress, you give yourself the grace to grow at your own pace. This mindset shifts the pressure from being perfect to being better than you were yesterday. Improvement isn't a race or a competition, it's a deeply personal journey where every effort, no matter how small, counts. Each day presents a new chance to take that next step, to improve by 1%, and to become a little closer to the person you aspire to be. Progress, no matter how slow, is still progress. The idea of improving yourself by just 1% every day holds incredible power when we truly commit to it. Think about it. 1% may seem like a small, almost insignificant amount, but over time, it adds up in ways that can completely transform your life. This approach is not about making drastic changes overnight, but about creating a steady rhythm of improvement that compounds with time. Each day you take 1 intentional step forward, and that momentum begins to shape your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your future. Consistency is the key. Imagine trying to fill a large jar with water, 1 drop at a time. At first it seems like nothing is happening. The jar looks empty, and you might even feel like your effort is wasted. But day by day, those drops add up. Eventually the jar is full, and you realize that every single drop was essential to reaching that point. That's the essence of improving by 1% each day. Every small action contributes to the bigger picture, even when progress feels invisible in the moment. This approach also takes the pressure off needing to achieve perfection immediately. It's not about taking huge leaps, but about making small, manageable changes that you can sustain. Whether it's learning a new skill, adopting healthier habits, or pursuing a goal, focusing on 1% improvement makes the process feel achievable rather than overwhelming. Over time, this steady effort builds discipline, resilience, and confidence, proving that growth is always within reach. Ultimately, improving yourself 1% every day is about embracing the journey and trusting the process. The person you're becoming is shaped by the choices you make daily. With each small improvement, you're not just moving closer to your goals, you're becoming someone who is capable of achieving them. The power of consistency is truly transformative. The imperfect person you are created to be is built on that person actually being that person.
Thank you for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss another video.
Welcome to Daily Overdose.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. Let me start by saying something that might make you a little uncomfortable. Being nice can be overrated. Don't get me wrong, kindness, respect, and compassion are essential in life. But being nice, that can be a trap. Being nice often leads to self-suppression and people-pleasing. At first glance, being nice seems like a good thing. It's about avoiding conflict, keeping the peace, and making others feel comfortable. However, there's a fine line between being considerate and erasing yourself to fit the expectations of others. When you prioritize being nice above all else, you often put other people's needs, wants, and feelings ahead of your own, even when it comes at your expense. Over time, this can take a toll on your mental and emotional well-being. You suppress your opinions, desires, and sometimes even your identity to avoid upsetting anyone. This pattern of self-suppression can create a cycle of dissatisfaction and resentment. You may find yourself constantly agreeing to things you don't want to do or sacrificing your time and energy for others without receiving the same consideration in return. The problem is that the more you cater to others, the more they expect it, often without even realizing the cost it's taking on you. Eventually, you're left feeling invisible or unappreciated, even though you've worked so hard to please everyone around you. Another issue is that being overly nice can prevent you from establishing healthy boundaries. Without boundaries, you're more likely to be taken advantage of, whether intentionally or unintentionally. People may start assuming your time, energy, or help are always available, leaving you drained and with little left to give yourself. Moreover, your authentic self, the person you are beneath all the niceness, gets lost in the process. In the end, being nice isn't inherently bad, but when it comes at the cost of your truth and well-being, it's not worth it. Your voice, feelings, and needs matter just as much as anyone else's. Kindness is valuable, but niceness can be a trap for avoiding conflict. True kindness stems from a genuine place of care and respect for others, but niceness often disguises itself as kindness while serving a completely different purpose. Niceness in many cases is rooted in fear of confrontation, rejection, or disappointing others. It's about maintaining harmony at all costs, even if that cost is your own authenticity and self-respect. When you prioritize being nice, you may avoid addressing difficult conversations or situations. You tell yourself it's better to let things slide than to create tension or awkwardness. But in reality, this avoidance doesn't eliminate the problem, it only buries it. Over time, these unspoken issues build up, creating an undercurrent of frustration or resentment that can eventually explode in unhealthy ways. Niceness then becomes a barrier to honesty and growth, both in your relationships and within yourself. Another challenge is that niceness can be misinterpreted as weakness. When you go out of your way to be agreeable and accommodating, some people may take advantage of your willingness to compromise. They might assume you lack conviction or that your boundaries are flexible. This perception not only diminishes your ability to be taken seriously, the trap of niceness lies in its superficiality. While it may make you more likable on the surface, it prevents you from connecting with others on a deeper level. Authentic relationships require honesty and vulnerability, qualities that niceness often suppresses. People can't truly know you if you're constantly presenting a version of yourself designed to avoid conflict. True kindness, on the other hand, embraces honesty even when it's uncomfortable because it values growth and mutual respect over fleeting approval. Setting boundaries and saying no is essential for self-respect. Many people struggle with the idea of turning down requests or setting limits because they fear being seen as selfish, rude, or unkind. But the truth is, without boundaries, you lose control over your time, energy, and emotional well-being. When you say yes to everything, you are essentially saying no to yourself, your priorities, and the things that matter most in your life. Boundaries are not about pushing others away. They're about protecting your inner peace and maintaining balance. Saying no can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to being agreeable or pleasing others. You might worry about disappointing someone or being judged. However, consistently putting others' needs ahead of your own can lead to burnout, resentment, and a diminished sense of self-worth. When you establish clear boundaries, you create a space where you can operate from a place of strength and authenticity rather than obligation or guilt. Boundaries are a form of self-care. They allow you to preserve your energy for the things and people that truly matter. They also teach others how to treat you. When you consistently honor your limits, people come to respect and value your time and choices. This doesn't mean everyone will be happy about your boundaries, but their reactions are not your responsibility. You are responsible for your well-being, not for managing others' feelings. Learning to say no also creates opportunities for growth and empowerment. It gives you the freedom to focus on what aligns with your goals and values rather than being pulled in every direction. It's not about being rigid or unkind. It's about being intentional and mindful of how you invest your time and energy. Respecting your boundaries ultimately leads to a more fulfilling and authentic life. Pleasing others at your own expense can lead to a life of regret. When you constantly prioritize the happiness and approval of others over your own needs, you begin to lose sight of who you truly are. At first, it might feel rewarding to be seen as dependable or selfless, but over time, the cost of always putting others first becomes evident. You start to feel drained, undervalued, and disconnected from your own aspirations. This pattern of self-sacrifice may earn you temporary appreciation, but it often comes at the expense of your own dreams and desires. The desire to please others can stem from a fear of rejection or conflict. You may worry that asserting your own needs will make you seem selfish or ungrateful. However, the reality is that no matter how much you give, there will always be people who expect more. By constantly trying to meet their expectations, you may find yourself stuck in a cycle of overcommitting and under-prioritizing your own well-being. This way of living can lead to a deep sense of regret, especially when you look back and realize how much of your time was spent fulfilling others' expectations instead of pursuing your own goals. You might wonder what opportunities you missed or how different your life could have been if you had focused more on your own path. Moreover, always aiming to please others can prevent you from forming genuine, balanced relationships. True connections are built on mutual respect and authenticity, not on one-sided efforts to keep others happy. When you suppress your needs for the sake of others, you deny them the chance to truly know and understand you. Ultimately, living for others' approval leaves you feeling unfulfilled, while prioritizing your own well-being creates a life of purpose and authenticity. The world needs authenticity, not conformity. In a society where fitting in is often valued over standing out, people sometimes feel pressure to conform to expectations, whether they come from family, peers, or cultural norms. This pressure can lead individuals to suppress their unique qualities, ideas, and perspectives in favor of being accepted. But by doing so, they lose the chance to make a meaningful impact on the world. Authenticity is what drives innovation, creativity, and connection. It's the spark that sets someone apart and makes their contributions truly valuable. When you prioritize conformity, you may find temporary comfort in being part of the crowd, but that comfort comes at a cost. You sacrifice the ability to fully express who you are and what you believe in. Over time, this can create a sense of emptiness or frustration as you realize you're living a life dictated by external expectations rather than internal convictions. Authenticity, on the other hand, allows you to embrace your true self and live in alignment with your values, even if it means taking a path less traveled. Being authentic isn't always easy. It often requires courage to stand firm in your beliefs and choices, especially when they differ from what others expect. You might face criticism, misunderstanding, or even rejection, but authenticity also attracts the right people and opportunities into your life, those that resonate with who you truly are. It fosters deeper connections as others are drawn to your genuine nature and feel encouraged to be their authentic selves in return. The world doesn't need more people who blend in. It needs people who are bold enough to stand out. Authenticity inspires change and progress, while conformity keeps things stagnant. By choosing to live authentically, you create a life that is not only meaningful for yourself, but also impactful for those around you. Living unapologetically true to yourself is the key to fulfillment. Far too often, people hold themselves back, worrying about how they will be perceived by others. They censor their thoughts, dim their light, and conform to societal expectations because they fear judgment or rejection. This constant self-editing creates a disconnect between who they are and who they present to the world, leaving them feeling empty and unfulfilled. Living unapologetically means breaking free from this cycle. It's about embracing your true self without feeling the need to explain, justify, or apologize for who you are. When you live unapologetically, you reclaim your power. You begin to focus on your goals, values, and happiness rather than trying to meet the endless expectations of others. This doesn't mean being dismissive of others' feelings or opinions. It means understanding that your worth is not defined by their approval. You recognize that you cannot please everyone. And that's okay. Instead of being weighed down by fear of criticism, you use it as an opportunity to grow, learn, and strengthen your resolve. Living unapologetically also allows you to take risks and pursue the things that truly matter to you. You stop letting doubt or the fear of failure hold you back. You understand that mistakes are a natural part of growth and that they do not define your worth. By being authentic and unapologetic, you give yourself permission to explore your potential fully and without limits. Moreover, living unapologetically sets an example for others. It shows them the freedom that comes from being true to oneself. It encourages authenticity in relationships and inspires people around you to step into their own truth. Fulfillment doesn't come from trying to be what others want. It comes from being unapologetically, fearlessly, and completely yourself.
Thank you for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss another video.
Welcome to Daily Overdose.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying something that might make you uncomfortable. Nothing in your life will change if you don't. I don't care how many books you read, how many podcasts you listen to, or how many motivational videos you watch. Real change begins and ends with you. Fear is a powerful force. It has the ability to paralyze you, to keep you in the same place, and to make you believe that you are incapable of change. The truth about fear is that it's often not as real as it seems. Most of the time, it's rooted in what ifs and imagined scenarios that may never come to pass. Yet, despite its intangible nature, fear can feel overwhelmingly real. It whispers doubts into your mind, telling you that failure is inevitable, that you're not good enough, or that it's safer to stay exactly where you are. The challenge with fear is that it thrives in comfort zones. It convinces you that stepping outside of what you know will lead to pain, embarrassment, or rejection. It creates a barrier between where you are and where you want to be, making you believe that the risks aren't worth the rewards. But here's the thing. Everything you've ever dreamed of achieving lies on the other side of fear. It is the bridge between mediocrity and greatness, but crossing it requires courage. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means feeling fear and moving forward anyway. It's about refusing to let fear dictate your choices or define your life. Each time you push through fear, you weaken its grip and strengthen your confidence. Think back to a time when you were afraid to try something new, but did it anyway. What happened? Chances are, it wasn't as terrifying as you thought, and even if you stumbled, you learned something invaluable. Fear will always be there. It's part of being human. But the question is, will you let it control you? Or will you face it, take the leap, and discover what you're truly capable of? Recognizing the power of choice is one of the most transformative realizations you can have in life. Every moment, every day, you are faced with choices, big and small, that shape your reality. Yet too often, people move through life on autopilot, letting circumstances dictate their path rather than taking control. The truth is, you hold more power than you realize. The ability to choose your thoughts, your actions, and your responses gives you the control to design your life, not just accept it as it is. The problem many face is not the absence of choice, but the fear of making the wrong one. Indecision becomes a habit, and staying in the comfort zone feels safer than risking failure. But the real danger is not in failing, it's in never trying. Every choice you make, even the smallest ones, either moves you closer to your goals or keeps you further away. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. A small, consistent shift in the right direction has the power to change your life dramatically over time. Think about this. Every successful person you admire has faced a moment where they had to choose between staying the same or stepping into the unknown. It wasn't talent alone that got them where they are. It was the courage to make decisions and follow through. Recognizing this power isn't just about making bold moves. It's about owning the choices you make daily. You can choose to see obstacles as opportunities or as excuses. You can choose to invest in yourself or continue putting it off. Every time you choose to act, you reinforce your ability to create change. The power of choice lies in your hands. The question is, what will you do with it? The building discipline is one of the most underrated yet essential elements for personal growth and success. Many people wait for motivation to strike before taking action, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like a wave. Discipline, on the other hand, is steadfast. It's the backbone that keeps you moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, The most successful people aren't those who are constantly inspired. They're the ones who show up day in and day out, regardless of how they feel. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's saying no to short-term pleasures in favor of long-term gains. It's doing the work when no one is watching and there's no applause. At its core, discipline is about making a commitment to yourself and honoring that commitment. It's a form of self-respect. And the more you trust yourself, the more capable you become of tackling bigger challenges. Developing discipline takes effort. It's not something you're born with. It's a skill you build over time. Start small. Focus on one habit or one goal and commit to it consistently. Maybe it's exercising for 10 minutes a day, reading a few pages of a book, or setting aside time to work on a personal project. As you succeed in these small actions, you create momentum. That momentum becomes a powerful force, carrying you through even the toughest days. Discipline doesn't eliminate obstacles, but it equips you to overcome them. It transforms your mindset from "I can't" to "I will." And as you cultivate discipline, you'll find that the impossible starts to feel achievable. Shifting your mindset is one of the most powerful changes you can make in your life. The way you think shapes your reality. If you approach challenges with a mindset of defeat, you're likely to confirm your fears and fail. But if you approach those same challenges with a mindset of growth and possibility, you open yourself up to opportunities you may not have even imagined. This isn't about ignoring obstacles or pretending life is perfect. It's about choosing how you respond to them. Your thoughts are like seeds. If you plant negativity, self-doubt, and fear, you'll grow a life filled with limitations. But if you plant optimism, resilience, and belief in yourself, you create the conditions for growth and success. This is the essence of a positive mindset. Not blind positivity, but intentional thinking that empowers rather than diminishes you. Shifting your mindset requires self-awareness. Pay attention to the stories you tell yourself. How many times have you said, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough"? Those thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies. Challenge them. Replace them with questions like, "What if I can?" or "What can I learn from this?" It's not about being perfect. It's about being open. A growth mindset doesn't avoid failure. It embraces it as part of the journey. Failure is not a dead end. It's a stepping stone. Every setback teaches you something valuable if you're willing to look for the lesson. When you shift your mindset, you shift your life. You begin to see problems as puzzles, not roadblocks. You start focusing on what you can do instead of what you can't. And slowly but surely you realize that the limits you once saw were never real. They were just in your mind. Taking ownership of your life is a fundamental step toward achieving your goals and creating the future you desire. Too often, people fall into the trap of blaming external circumstances for their lack of progress. They point to their upbringing, their environment, or even the behavior of others as reasons why they can't succeed. While these factors can present real challenges, the truth is that you have the power to rise above them. Ownership means accepting that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you do control how you respond and move forward. Taking ownership requires you to stop making excuses. Excuses might feel comforting in a moment, but they only delay your growth. Every time you shift responsibility away from yourself, you give away your power. Ownership, on the other hand, empowers you. It forces you to confront the truth about your habits, decisions, and priorities. It's not always easy to admit where you've fallen short. But that honesty is the first step toward meaningful change. When you take ownership, you become the author of your story. You stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems or create opportunities for you. You take initiative, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. Ownership is about doing the work even when no one else will. It's about recognizing that success isn't handed to you. It's earned through effort, persistence, and accountability. This mindset shift transforms obstacles into opportunities. Instead of seeing setbacks as reasons to quit, you view them as lessons to learn and grow from. You realize that your future is not determined by chance, but by choice. Ownership gives you the freedom to design a life that aligns with your values and aspirations because you're no longer a passenger. You're in the driver's seat. Embracing self-awareness is the cornerstone of personal growth and transformation. It's impossible to change what you don't acknowledge. And self-awareness is the process of understanding who you are, your strengths, weaknesses, values, and even the fears and beliefs that hold you back. Without it, you're like a ship without a compass, drifting aimlessly and reacting to circumstances instead of steering toward a purpose. Self-awareness begins with honest reflection. Take the time to examine your actions, thoughts, and emotions. Why do you react the way you do in certain situations? What triggers your frustration, your joy, or your sense of inadequacy? This isn't about judgment or criticism, it's about observation. When you understand these patterns, you gain the power to change them, a chance of reception to the goods you have inside. For example, if you notice that procrastination is a recurring issue, self-awareness allows you to uncover the root cause, whether it's fear of failure, lack of clarity, or perfectionism, and address it directly. A key aspect of self-awareness is recognizing your strengths and leveraging them. Too often, people focus solely on what they need to improve, neglecting what they already do well. Your strengths are your unique tools for navigating challenges and achieving your goals. At the same time, understanding your limitations is equally important. It's not about feeling defeated by your weaknesses, but about finding ways to grow and adapt. Self-awareness also fosters better relationships. When you understand yourself, you communicate more effectively, empathize with others, and handle conflicts with grace. It creates a foundation of authenticity where your actions align with your true self rather than societal expectations or external pressures. Embracing self-awareness isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong process. The more you cultivate it, the more equipped you become to navigate life's complexities and become the best version of yourself.
Thank you for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss another video.
Welcome to Daily Overdose.
Ladies and gentlemen, life is not going to wait for you. Success is not going to knock on your door while you sit around hoping things will get better. If you want something to change in your life, you have to wake up and make it happen. Too many people are living their lives on autopilot, going through the motions, waiting for a miracle that will never come. Let me tell you something. God gave you everything you need to succeed, but He's not going to do the work for you. If you want a better life, if you want more, if you want to see your dreams come true, it's time to stop making excuses and start making moves. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to success, and it stops more people from reaching their full potential than any other obstacle. It creeps into the mind and whispers doubts, convincing you that failure is inevitable, that you are not good enough, and that you should stay where it's safe. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown keep people stuck in the same place, watching opportunities pass them by. The truth is, fear is not real. It is simply a mental creation, a product of overthinking and uncertainty. It has no power unless you give it power. The most successful people in the world did not achieve greatness because they were fearless. They achieved it because they refused to let fear control them. Fear often disguises itself as logic. It tells you to wait for the right time, to gather more information, or to make sure everything is perfect before you begin. But in reality, these are just excuses wrapped in fear. There is no perfect moment, no guaranteed success, and no way to eliminate all risks. Growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone, when you take action despite being scared. The difference between successful people and those who never reach their dreams is not talent or luck. It is the willingness to move forward in the face of fear. Every great achievement in history required someone to take a leap of faith, to risk failure, and to push through the fear that tried to hold them back. If you let fear dictate your decisions, you will look back one day and realize that it wasn't failure that stopped you. It was never trying in the first place. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They provide temporary comfort, but ultimately keep people trapped in the same cycle of inaction. People convince themselves that they don't have enough time, money, resources, or talent to pursue their dreams. They blame their circumstances, their upbringing, or external factors beyond their control. But the truth is, excuses are nothing more than justifications for staying in the comfort zone. Successful people don't allow excuses to dictate their lives. Instead of saying, I don't have time, they make time. Instead of saying, I don't have the right connections, they build relationships. Instead of waiting for the perfect conditions, they start with what they have. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not their circumstances, it's their mindset. The moment a person stops making excuses is the moment they start taking control of their life. Habits shape a person's future more than anything else. A person's daily routine determines where they will be in the next 5 or 10 years. Successful individuals have disciplined habits that align with their goals. They prioritize learning, growth, and productivity. They wake up early, set clear objectives, and stay consistent in their actions. On the other hand, people who struggle often waste time on distractions, indulge in procrastination, and allow negative habits to dominate their lives. It's not talent or luck that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. It's the discipline to make the right choices every single day. Small habits, repeated over time, lead to massive results. Success is not about a single breakthrough moment. It is about showing up every day, putting in the work, and making progress even when motivation fades. The habits a person builds today will determine the success they achieve tomorrow. Fear is the silent killer of dreams. It keeps people stuck in the same place, afraid to take the next step, worried about what could go wrong. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of judgment hold people back from reaching their true potential. But fear is nothing more than a mental illusion. It only has power if you allow it. The most successful people in the world have faced fear, but they chose to act despite it. They knew that staying in their comfort zone meant staying in the same place forever. The only way to grow is to push through fear, take risks, and understand that failure is not the enemy. Failure is a lesson, a stepping stone to something greater. Those who let fear control them end up living a life of regret, wondering what could have been if they had just taken a chance. Excuses are the chains that keep people from moving forward. Instead of taking responsibility, people find reasons why they can't succeed. They blame their circumstances, their lack of resources, or bad luck. But excuses don't change reality, they only delay progress. Every person who has ever achieved something great started with obstacles in their way. The difference is they chose to find solutions instead of making excuses. They worked harder, learned more, and refused to let challenges stop them. The moment someone stops making excuses is the moment they take control of their future. Success is never about having perfect conditions. It's about making the best out of what you have and taking action despite the difficulties. Habits define success more than talent or intelligence. The small choices people make every day shape their future. Successful individuals build habits that push them toward their goals. They stay disciplined, focus on growth, and make the most of every opportunity. Meanwhile, those who fail often waste time on distractions, procrastinate, and repeat negative behaviors. Success is not a one-time event. It is the result of consistent actions over time. The secret to changing your life is changing your daily habits, one step at a time. Fear is the invisible force that holds people back from pursuing their dreams. It whispers doubts, magnifies risks, and convinces people that they are not ready. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of the unknown keep individuals from taking the first step. But the truth is, fear will always be there, never disappears. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is their ability to move forward despite being afraid. Every great success story is built on moments of courage, where someone chose to act rather than surrender to fear. Failure is not the enemy, it is a necessary part of growth. The real failure is never trying. Fear will always create reasons to wait, but waiting does not lead to success. Action does. Excuses are easy to make but dangerous to believe. People convince themselves that they lack time, money, or the right connections to chase their dreams. But the reality is, those are just stories they tell themselves to justify inaction. Everyone has challenges. Everyone starts somewhere. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is that successful people do not waste time making excuses. They find solutions, they work with what they have, and they keep moving forward. When people stop making excuses, they unlock their potential and realize that they are capable of much more than they thought. Habits shape every person's future. The small decisions made each day compound over time, leading either to success or failure. Successful people develop habits that align with their goals. They wake up early, stay disciplined, and invest in personal growth. Meanwhile, those who struggle often waste time on distractions, procrastinate, and engage in unproductive routines. Success is not about one major breakthrough, it is about consistent effort and smart habits repeated every day. The people we surround ourselves with influence our mindset, ambition, and growth. Negative, unmotivated, and toxic individuals drain energy and limit potential. On the other hand, being around driven, positive, and successful people inspires growth. If someone wants to change their life, they must first change their environment. The company we keep either pushes us towards success or pulls us into mediocrity. Fear is one of the greatest obstacles standing between a person and their success. It creates doubt, magnifies risks, and convinces people to stay in their comfort zones. Fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown stops individuals from taking action. But fear is not real, it is a creation of the mind. and it only has power if you allow it to control you. Every successful person has faced fear, but they chose to act anyway. The truth is, failure is not something to be afraid of. It is a stepping stone to success. The real danger lies in never trying at all. Those who let fear dictate their decisions end up living a life of regret, wondering what could have been if they had taken the risk. Excuses are the barriers people build between themselves and their dreams. It's easy to blame circumstances, lack of resources, or other people for why success has not been achieved. But successful individuals do not make excuses, they take responsibility. They understand that conditions will never be perfect, and waiting for the right time only leads to missed opportunities. Instead of focusing on problems, they focus on solutions. Excuses keep people stuck in the same place, while action moves them forward. The moment someone stops making excuses is the moment they begin to take control of their destiny. Habits shape the outcome of a person's life. The small actions repeated daily have a bigger impact than talent, luck, or intelligence. Those who succeed build habits that push them toward their goals. They prioritize discipline, learning, and consistency. Meanwhile, those who fail often repeat unproductive behaviors, wasting time and energy on distractions. Success is not a one-time event, but a result of consistent, positive habits over time. The people we surround ourselves with play a major role in shaping our future. Negative and unmotivated individuals drain energy, fill the mind with doubt, and hold others back from reaching their full potential. On the other hand, being around ambitious, positive, and driven people inspires growth and pushes us to do better. Changing one's environment and social circle can be one of the most powerful steps towards success. Mindset is the foundation of success. People who think small, doubt their abilities, or believe they are not good enough will never achieve greatness. But those who believe in themselves, think big, and expect success create opportunities for growth. The way a person sees themselves in the world determines how far they will go. Success starts in the mind before it happens in reality. Fear is the invisible barrier that stops people from reaching their true potential. It convinces them that they are not ready, that they might fail, or that others will judge them. But fear is just an illusion, something that only has power when a person chooses to believe in it. Every successful individual has felt fear, but they did not let it dictate their actions. They understood that failure is not something to be afraid of, but rather a necessary part of growth. The biggest mistake anyone can make is allowing fear to control their decisions. Those who let fear win end up living with regret, looking back and wondering what could have been if they had just taken the risk. Excuses are another silent killer of success. It is easy to blame circumstances, a lack of resources, or bad luck for not making progress. But the truth is, excuses are nothing more than a way to avoid responsibility. Every successful person has faced obstacles, but they found ways to overcome them instead of making excuses. They did not wait for perfect conditions or for someone else to help them. They took action despite the challenges. The moment a person stops making excuses is the moment they start moving forward. Habits define success more than talent or intelligence. The daily routines and small choices people make determine where they end up in life. Those who build positive habits, like discipline, consistency, and focus, create a path to success. Meanwhile, those who waste time on distractions and procrastination set themselves up for failure. Success is not about a single lucky break, but about repeated small actions over time. The people we surround ourselves with influence our growth. Negative, unmotivated individuals drain energy and limit potential, while ambitious, positive people inspire progress. Changing one's environment can be the key to unlocking greater success. Mindset is the foundation of everything. A person who believes in their abilities, thinks big, and expects success is far more likely to achieve it. On the other hand, someone who doubts themselves and sees obstacles instead of opportunities will remain stuck. Success always starts in the mind before it happens in reality. Taking action is the final and most important key. Many people have dreams, ideas, and plans, but they never act on them. They wait for the perfect moment or for fear to disappear. But success belongs to those who take action now. Even small steps create momentum, and momentum leads to transformation. Dreams will always remain dreams unless a person takes action to turn them into reality.
Thank you for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss another video.